Darwin was wrong! In the Post-Structuralist and so-called Postmodernist philosopher Michel Foucault's book, The Order of Things, he wrote about philosophical conceptions of evolution long before Darwin's theory of evolution by natural selection. He also discussed how Darwin's precursor, Lamarck's theory of evolution, is how it actually works. Like Darwin, Lamarck was a naturalist who developed a theory of evolution. One fundamental aspect of his theory was different from that of Darwin, the of course the famous so-called discoverer of evolution by natural selection. Lamarck arguably discovered evolution before Darwin. His theory was just slightly different. The two agreed that as organisms evolve, they gradually become more specialized and complex. Lamarck's theory was based on evolution by inheritance of natural characteristics. Now, that's a very specific definition in biology that's probably different from the way that Lamarck means it, and I think that that Darwin actually means it in a different way from Lamarck too, but we don't need to get into that here. So Lamarck's theory was based on evolution by inheritance of natural characteristics. Lamarck's theory was actually more specific than that of Darwin. Lamarck thought that traits can change and develop over an animal's lifetime, then be passed on to their offspring through inheritance. Unlike Lamarck, Darwin thought that individuals are just born with different traits, and that the changes are primarily random. It's a subtle difference, but according to most biologists, Darwin disproved Lamarck. As Foucault does, though, he's supporting a renegade theory because he likes to be a shit disturber. He's saying that Lamarck was actually right and Darwin was wrong. Foucault claims that there was a whole body of thought around evolution from philosophers and naturalists even long before Lamarck. 18th century French philosophers like Bonnet and Diderot clearly laid out their idea that living forms can't pass from one into another. They also explain that current species are undeniably the results of earlier transformations. So no, it's not a fucking evolution denier like fucking Tucker Carlson. So they're undeniably the results of earlier transformations, and that all of the world is possibly in motion toward a certain point. This means you cannot guarantee that any living form has been clearly defined and will now remain changeless forever. However, these analyses are untenable in terms of the latest scientific knowledge based on Darwinian evolution by natural selection. Current theories are more concerned with linking tables of differences and identities to a series of successive events. To Foucault, this is a phenomenally incorrect theory. Philosophers who thought up ideas of evolution that were added to Lamarck's theory are the most correct, even more so than Lamarck. So, Foucault wrote about Darwin and Lamarck's different theories of evolution, along with philosophers coming up with the concept long before even Lamarck did. Well, philosophers cogitated and wrote about it. Lamarck likely discovered evolution before Darwin, in spite of his subtly different theory that would lead to very different results if you think about it on a mass timescale. The two naturalists agreed that organisms gradually become more complex and specialized as they evolved. Lamarck believed that traits can develop and change throughout an animal's lifetime, then be inherited by their offspring. Darwin simply thought that life forms are born with different traits and that changes are mostly random. Biologists almost entirely agree that Darwin disproved Lamarck, but since Foucault is a fucking shit disturber, he's claiming that Darwin and scientists are wrong about evolution by natural selection. Lamarck and philosophers are right. Postmodernist Foucault, evil postmodernist Foucault says, Darwin was wrong.